Good evening. Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. And good evening, BSL. And good evening to all points in between. This is the October 26th, 2021 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I am your host and head chef, Mr. Michael Walker. Glad to have y'all with us here tonight. Good to have y'all here. Glad that you can join us tonight. I think we have a pretty good show, pretty decent show tonight, and we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off right now. And let me introduce to you my co-host from tonight. She's from Virginia. She has been here before. She is not a stranger here. You just haven't seen her in a while, though. We had a contract negotiation, though, so she tried to hold me over, though. But anyway, though, let me introduce her to you all, Sister Andrea Jenkins. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, everybody. It's been a minute. Glad to be here.
Been more than a minute. But yeah, glad glad to have you. Oh, I was talking to myself. I was looking at something on my screen though.
Okay.
But glad to have you here. So glad. And it's wonderful to have your input here. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Hopefully, and we're glad that everybody else is here. And let's read these salutations. Shall we? Then we'll get started. Michael Jones McKeever, how you doing, brother? Yes, again from the DC area. Brother Marcus Wilbanks, glad to have you. Hey, Jenna. We got Teresa, glad to have you. Michelle, glad to have you here. And Marcus, Sonolia, happy belated birthday to you, Sonolia. Hey, Sherry, how's it going? Margaret, glad to have you here. I'm talking so loud that Siri just went off. That's crazy. I I know. Did y'all hear that? She just went off. Hey, Jelly, glad to have you here. Nicole Brittany, wow, glad to have you here. Hey, Joe, glad to have you here. Yeah. Cliff, we haven't seen you in a while. How's it going, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you okay. Oh, Karen, glad. Oh, she's from Vegas. Okay. So everybody's here. So y'all ready? Y'all ready? Like they gonna answer me. Y'all ready?
I know, right?
Yeah, I know. like I would instantly hear them. Okay, let's get this started though, shall we? Oh yeah, before we go any further, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does support this endeavor. The more you support this, the better shows you get. Yeah, something like that. But this, like, support, and share. And it means a whole lot to us. So let's get started. First topic of the night. When is it time to put dating and relationships on hold? Now, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
As you know, there are times we say, well, why aren't you dating someone? We ask somebody, and they'll say, well, I'm working on me, or the time isn't right, or I'm going through some things, or what have you. Well, I went to this website, and I'm going to post the link after the broadcast is over, called Her Way Net, and I'm going to post it. And I got this list from Her Way, and that states, and I think this is an opinion, but some of these things I feel were legitimate. Okay, so I'm going to read this list to y'all, okay? And y'all tell us whether y'all agree with this or not, though. So we're going to get started. You ready, Andrea? Because we just talked about it. Okay. When is it time to put dating and relationships on hold? Number one, you have a panic don't laugh. You have a panic attack whenever a happy couple comes along. Now, and I'm gonna give it to you, Andrea, but I don't know if I've ever had a panic attack or dry heaved or have shortness of breath if I ever seen a happy couple. However, I've had a bad attitude that I was single and a happy couple has come along. But I don't know about a panic attack. I don't know. Irritated, yes. Panic attack, not really. Go
But
ahead
that
on.
wouldn't be a reason to put the relationship on hold. You're
That's
just
true.
upset
That's
because
true.
your relationship is not there. You know.
Mm,
Now I dated. I think I told you I dated someone one time where um we were sitting together. We were at church,
mm-hmm.
and the pastor made a comment about people who want to get married need to come see him, and he looked directly at the person I was dating, and he almost passed out. He was just like, "Why is he looking at me?" And I was just like, Have we not talked about this?" You know. And shortly after that, the relationship actually did end. A little bit after that. But I think that if you feel pressured, that would be a reason why you would go into, like you said. I'm not sure about the drive heaves because there's some other elements that might be going on if you're sick like that. But but if you're having a panic attack when you see happy couples, if you are getting all flustered and hot and bothered, and you upset because other people are in relationships, then you got to question, are you ready for a relationship?
Hot and bothered now. Something else
Well, if
might
you
be
like,
something wrong.
uh, if you getting all sweaty and carrying on, and you're like, you, I'm glad that's not me. That's
Okay.
that's a problem.
Okay. But okay. But then again, like you said, you have a panic attack. But does that cause you to put your relationship on hold? That just sounds kind of what, bizarre or something like that though. I don't
If
know.
someone else's relationship and you're in a relationship
Oh
and it's
boy.
causing you to have a panic attack,
Mm-hmm.
you probably shouldn't be in the relationship. You might need to put it on hold.
I get
If
you.
you're
I
in
get
one
you.
and the thought of it going to the next level is making you anxious,
Mm.
then you might need to do that. Because then the question is, why are you anxious? Because if you're happy, if you're looking for the future, you shouldn't. I mean, you might be concerned about some things, but it
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't put you in a point where you passing out, and folks got to come with smelling salts and those kind of things. It shouldn't be.
Oh man. And I guess you're right though, because if you're in a relationship and it causes you to have panic attacks, I know either A, I know that's something. Now that's something right there.
Exactly.
Either A, it's something about that relationship that you just don't like. You're like, dang, here she come. Or whatever. Yeah.
But you know what? On the flip side of that too, though, there are people who may want to be in healthy relationships,
Mm-hmm.
but then fear might kick in too because they don't know what a good relationship looks like. They've only
Uh-huh.
experienced bad relationships. They've seen, parents fighting or abuse or whatever. So even if they want to, their mind might be saying, making them feel a little squeamish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keena says that sounds a little like mental illness. And
Hmm.
that may be, Joe says, Mike, I've had the same experiences for a time in my life. I would say there's no reason to put a relationship on hold. A person should not be in the relationship at all if they can't handle it. But let me listen to thoughts. Okay. And Kitty Mac Cat, I just like that name. Sounds like she said, sounds like they need therapy. and they may need therapy. And I mean, and it goes back to what you just said, Andrea. They're not used to seeing or being around a good relationship.
Right.
You
Well,
around,
in general, panic attacks are usually a symbol of other things.
yep.
In general, I mean, aside from relationships, if you get into an elevator and you have a full panic attack, there's some other issues going on. And so I agree with what Kina um and Kitty said, that there might be some underlying issues that you might need to address,
Mm-hmm.
because a relationship, it's all about togetherness and it's all about blending. So if those things that make up what a relationship is causing you to be anxious to the point of, you got a brown paper bag trying to blow into it because you can't breathe, that's real. That's a real issue.
Yeah. Stacy Burton says, if you're not at your best, how can you expect the best in the relationship? That'll preach.
Yep.
That'll preach right there. Yeah, if you and again, you blowing in a paper bag, how do you expect them to deal with that?
Right.
You
Got to
know,
run
it'll
to the
get it.
bathroom because your stomach's upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then they'll get to the point they're gonna need a paper bag. So y'all both on a date, blowing in paper bags. Wow, a lot of fun. But yeah, I could
And I'm
see
gonna
that.
feel some kind of way too if somebody,
Hmm.
has a panic attack on me, and I'm like, okay, so,
Especially you're not used to it. Yeah, you're gonna look at them.
or if it's because of the relationship with me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna question, okay, so what is it about us? Or have you had panic attacks with other people?
And those are good questions.
You know,
Those are very good questions right
and
there.
if it's me, then I might need to put it on hold before you do.
Yeah. Now listen. Now Marcus has an opposing view. He says I totally disagree with that. Panic attacks are more than likely triggered while in a relationship. I've had that experience before for reasons why my old flame never listens to me. Hmm. Interesting indeed. Interesting. So, number one, panic attacks rather. We'll get to number two right now. You ready for this, Andrea?
Let's do it.
Number two, when is it time to put dating and relationships on hold? Number two, you avoid seeing images of young couples on social networks. Should have been social media though, but we'll just say social networks.
You avoid seeing images of young couples. That almost can tie in with one
Mm,
a little
okay.
bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because if if you can't see couples, if you can't see happy couples, and because of those reasons, you decide that you want to put a halt to a relationship,
Okay.
you might not want to be there.
Okay. I don't know what age has to do with it though. That just sounds kind of, I don't know, kind of a little bizarre though. Young couples. I think this, like you said, number one and number two, they might be twins. Who knows though? I mean, ah, number three, y'all. We get to number three. Now, number three gonna be pretty interesting. You are thinking of talking to your ex with whom you ended things badly.
It-
Mm,
While you're in a relationship, if your mind is with someone else, that's a good reason to put it on hold.
wait a minute, let me put this what Kitty says. Kitty McCat says, who are the haters that submitted these answers? Like I said, I'm gonna post a link at the end after the show goes off. So y'all can sit up there and read that and therapy. Yeah. Yeah. Therapy. But yeah, you are thinking of talking now. Let me ask you this. I can understand that you're tempted to go back to an ex. regardless of how it ended. I mean, if it ended amicably, then of course you still may want to talk to them. But if things ended badly and you still want to talk to them, then there may be an issue there, maybe an esteem issue there. I don't know. Sometimes we go back and reminisce, and listening to Spotify, whatever, that song come on, you get to thinking about them and everything, and you like, let me
Some
see what.
people, some people though don't like things ending in a bad way.
Hmm.
I'm kind of like that a little bit. If there's been some sort of argument or whatever, I may not resume the friendship how it was, but I may try to at least clear the air a little bit, depending on what exactly happened. But, to go back to a relationship that ended badly and then put somebody else on hold,
Mm,
that's not, that's never good, you know, or putting someone on hold because you're reconsidering your ex.
mm.
A lot of these questions, they all just need a couch. Just lay down. Just give that therapist
Uh,
your $500 for your session.
oh, Karen says, sound like this person can't be by themselves. It may be. Because and remember, we just on what, number 3. So, wait till you hear the other ones, though. Sonolia says, one thing that would cause me to put a relationship on hold would be if someone in the relationship is causing me to think again about being with that person. I may need to take a step back to see things clearly.
I
Hmm.
agree with that.
Yeah, that's true. Some people, again, it's great in the beginning. Music playing, y'all running through the flower fields, holding hands, and everything. The birds chirping, and everything's good. But after a while, you get to thinking, what's going on here? So,
And in a situation like that, that's probably a good thing. Especially because you don't want to continue a relationship that you're unsure of.
hmm
But the key with that is that you need to be honest with it. You know, don't just go somebody, because you're not sure.
hmm hmm Sean says Lot's wife looked back, and you know what happened. Mm. Hmm.
She got biblical.
Okay. Number 3 sounds exactly like me. The energy vibe is sending me red flags. If you think of going backwards, bad memories of 1, 2, or more years ago will prove detrimental to your health in general, especially your mental health, especially that. um, Margaret C says going backwards to an ex is not a rational decision. What you think about that? In some cases, uh, in
That
some
could go
case,
either way. I mean, if
yeah,
you were dating someone, I mean, people, I think you have to look at the whole context. I mean, if you were dating someone and you were young,
yeah.
you know, going back may not necessarily be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you're going back to a relationship that was maybe abusive, thinking that it's not going to be abusive anymore, unless you have some documented proof, that's not a good plan, you
No, it's
know.
not. No, it's not.
But sometimes too, maturity, people change. And sometimes I mean, this is just me. I mean, you need to leave room for that opportunity. But in doing that, you also have to like walk in like eyes wide open.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go back, with your sunglasses on and totally dismiss everything that happened. You have to look at it for, how you dated somebody when you were 18 is very different than how you date someone when you're 38.
A big difference.
You know, and people can change, but you have to look at it. They might, but you know they may not have either.
Yeah.
Be careful when you're doing
Yeah. Josette says the writer of this article needs to be and should be single.
it.
They need some therapy sessions. Oh, and Tiffany Murphy says going back to an ex is not necessarily a bad thing if the reason that the relationship dissolved in the first place is healthy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, just like you said, Andrea, you're not gonna go back to someone that hurt you
Right.
physically, emotionally, mentally. You're not gonna go back to that.
Oh, you shouldn't, because there are people who do that.
Yeah, they do.
There are
Yeah.
people who repeat those kind of behaviors. But it in your healthy state of mind,
Yeah.
you know, you don't go back to that's like saying, you already got shot, so let me just go stand here again,
Exactly.
just because I want to bleed.
Yeah, I love seeing that plasma just flow out my body, though.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. I want to be in the hospital on life
that's.
support.
I think some people, hey, and that's where esteem issues come in. So you go with that though. The next one, y'all. You ready for this one? And I think some of y'all might be able to relate to this one. Number 4. You are looking for a quick replacement for your ex. You are looking for a quick replacement for your ex. In other words, soon as you break up, instead of sitting down, taking the time to heal or get yourself together, do some self-reflection. Well, I need somebody to take such and such place so I can move on, so I can forget such and such.
It kind of reads weird, because if the question is reasons that you're taking a break from dating or a relationship, then it probably should read, put that back up, Mike,
Yes, ma'am.
please. Thank you. um you were looking for a quick replacement, and then you realized that you did the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
you know you rushed into it, and
Yeah.
now you step back and be like, you know what, I jumped too soon,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore I might need to take a break.
Okay. That sounds good to me. Tiffany says, rebound. That's a dangerous position to be in because you will accept, tolerate, and do anything in most cases to fill that space of the ex. And that's one of the worst things that can happen right there. Sonolia says not clear thinking. Kitty McCat says number 4 should have been number 1. Yeah. And it should have been number 1. I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, wow. That's one of the dangerous things to do is do that rebound mess. Because not only it's not good for you, but it's not fair to the person that you're dating.
Exactly.
It's not fair. And at the end of the day, everybody come up short.
Right. And more than likely, that person who is new or who's not rebounding, they're the ones who are going to get hurt, like an innocent person in it, you know, unless they know that up front. Because then those cases too is like, look, I just want you to know I'm just using you to pass time.
Mm. And like you said, uh uh it is not fair because like I said, you wasting that person's time.
Did you forget my name?
No, I know your name, Andrea
Just checking.
Jenkins. Andrea uh Ella Mae Jenkins. But no, I was thinking about my point though.
Oh.
And I forgot it again. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Being messy. Okay. Again, number 4. Boy, you are looking for a quick replacement for your ex. Okay. And I had a good point, but she wanted to be. Okay. Number 5. Number 5. And I am very guilty of number 5. Okay. Here it go. You do not want to hear about your friends' happiness in their relationships. Now, go go ahead, Andrea.
I'm listening because I guess I'm having a hard time with the questions in a way because
Hmm.
we're trying to understand the reasons why someone would put a
Hmm.
relationship on hold. So you would put a relationship on hold because you don't want to hear how happy your friends are?
Well, I think the
Or when is
question
the time?
is is that's a good question. I guess they saying the pursuit of dating and relationships.
Okay, I see what you said. All right.
Okay.
I understand.
I'm yeah, but you do not want to hear about your friend's happiness in their relationship. I've been there. I've been there. And that I've acted a fool.
Oh,
No. Yeah. Like don't tell me about that. And I'm here at on Friday night by myself eating pizza rolls. Man, I don't want to hear about that. So yeah, you get an attitude though when you're single. Yeah, you getting mad about that. Here we go. Let me read this. Margaret says rebound is very unfair. I believe that happened to me. Oh wow. But the good thing is it happened during COVID and didn't last long. Okay. Okay, I get you. Uh uh-oh. I got some more. It was the eye roll for me, Andrea. Oh, okay. Okay. Marcus said finding a quick replacement sounds like you found one in weeks. Sometimes it don't take that long.
right.
My psychiatrist suggested to me that I should wait at least 3 months to cleanse myself of a bad relationship before going on the rebound. You know what? Let's put a pin right here. But how do you cleanse yourself of a bad relationship? Does it fully 100% happen?
I don't think that you can put an actual timetable
Okay.
on
Okay.
it, because there are some relationships that, are less or more intense.
Mm-hmm.
You had a deeper connection, you might have made plans. you know if it's someone that you're just casually dating and you go out from time to time, then it's like, losing that relationship may not take as long to get over, as opposed to, say, that person that you were talking to for x amount of months or years, and then you know it ends, and you probably should take time. And
Mm.
whatever cleansing looks like to you, cleansing could just be becoming a hermit for a while, or writing, or whatever that looks like, you know, for people's personal healing process.
Yeah, doing a journal,
Yeah.
writing, doing broadcasts, doing something. Tiffany says that used to be me until 2 to 3 years ago when I had to understand as my circle glows up, I glow up. As I rejoice over others, heaven rejoices over me and God blesses me. I've lived the blessings of celebrating others. Now that doesn't give them the license to let their relationship be our only topic of conversation. Mm, that's good right there.
I don't
You
think I've
know,
ever like hated, for lack of a better term, on someone's relationship in front of them. Now, I might be home
mm,
and feel, that wanting for myself, and maybe,
mm,
cry or whatever the situation is, because I want a relationship for myself.
mm-hmm,
But in front of them, I would hope that I try to be supportive,
mm-hmm.
you know, of their relationship. Now, do you want to see them all mushy gushy, lovey lovey all the time? No, but
I get that. I get that. Okay, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. LSS. Okay. Number six. Now, number six, oh boy. I think that goes along with number one or number two. Even thinking about dating makes you want to throw up. I didn't write this, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that goes back to the, feeling nauseous and
Yeah.
panic attacks and what have you.
So I don't know. I just gonna just number 6. I don't think I want to puke. Well, I don't know. Number 7. No, I'm not even gonna. Number 7. Going out does not interest you. Now I think that's a little strange right there because that doesn't necessarily. I don't think that necessarily means that's a sign, though. I
Oh,
don't think. Yeah. Of when is it time to put dating and relationships on hold, or maybe you are losing interest. Or maybe you realize that it is time for you to sit down and say, you know what? Let me work on me. Let
right.
me
Or think
cleanse.
about what you really want. I mean, if you don't have an interest in going out, meeting people, being single and deciding that you want to live a single life is not a bad thing. And sometimes there's that stigma that, woo, you're single.
Mm,
But someone making a decision that that's what they want for them for their lives, I think it's a good thing that they decide to step back and say, let me not date, let me
mm-hmm,
not, get into a relationship because I don't know if I really want that.
mm, mm. Yes, I do that too. Uh-uh. But is it really strange? That what Tiffany says. As I get older, home becomes a very comfortable and fulfilling place. Yes, it does. I'm sociable, but I love my quiet time too. I do.
I'm definitely like that.
I'm definitely like that myself though. Give me my snacks and a good read or a good movie.
Hmm.
Hey, you won't hear from me. So I understand that though. And I think that goes along with age. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But let me see. Karen says true, not going out. I get that though. I get that. Let's go to now. These next ones these last 3 are pretty interesting. I think. I think they're pretty interesting. So we just see what y'all think of this. Number 8. Number 8. You are convinced that there is no person who is right for you. You are convinced that there is no person who is right for you.
Hmm. I and the sad part behind that is I think, if we're honest,
Hmm.
we all have said that at some
Yep.
point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's no, there's nobody who's compatible, nobody who wants what I want, nobody who's willing to put in the work
Mm.
that you are. I think we all have said that at some point.
Mm. Tiffany says you have to be honest about why you attract what you attract. Mm. Mm. That's something right there. Karen
Hmm.
says I feel that way at times. I think if we're all honest, we've all felt like this at one point or another. We've all felt like this, like, there's no one. You waiting for that perfect person.
Right. And it can be like a frustration and be, so that you're like, you know what, forget it. I'll just be single. I'll be Paul on an island writing a book.
Getting bit by snakes. Yeah, I could definitely understand that. Yeah, I mean, and that's where we mess ourselves up though, because we have to realize that we may not be right for everybody. Not necessarily are they right for me. Well, what about you? What would you bring to another person's life? What can you offer them? Uh, Margaret said that right there, putting in the work. So, and Marcus said there were times when I felt like that. It is an emotional uphill battle to find your way back. I can humbly admit that on various occasions. Well, You are convinced there is no person who is right for you. But now, how do you reverse that mindset? What can be done to reverse that mindset? Because there are people I know, they're in their 40s and 50s and maybe even 60s. And guess what? They still looking for that perfect person.
I think
What
it's like a
can
mindset that comes with that because, we've all have said it. So then the question becomes, what did we all do
mm,
in order to get off of that, that merry-go-round, you know, and it can be something that's like, momentary. You see your friends getting married or relationships, and you're just like, there's nobody there for me. And then after a while, just like, you know what? I'm gonna get back on that horse and keep it moving and keep trying.
mm-hmm,
And I guess it comes down to what you really want. If you are really desiring to be in a relationship, those
yeah,
moments are temporary.
mm-hmm.
you know if you're on the fence now whether or not you actually want to be in a relationship, making that decision might take a little bit longer.
And that is a good question. Do you really want to be in a relationship? Truly be in a relationship instead of the benefits of a relationship or just the title. I have someone,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
call the newspapers. Karen says, yes, frustration comes, but we got to be content in all things. We got to be patient. We waited all this time. I guess a few more days won't hurt, I guess. Josette says, I felt and experienced all these feelings and situations, but not while I was in a relationship. Still, none of these things are a reason to put a relationship on hold. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. We're going to number 9. Number 9. You forget all the good things that have happened to you, and you feel like life will just stop because you do not have a significant other.
Wow.
Yes. You think life is, and I think people believe they're living and their life is contingent upon them having a significant other.
And there's a lot, I mean, honestly, you know there can be a lot of pressure
Mm-hmm.
on singles to be in a relationship. you know
Mm-hmm.
you think about, like, we're getting ready to walk into the holidays.
Yeah.
you know a lot of people don't want to go to the family dinner by themselves, because
Mm.
then you get, Aunt Gertrude, when you gonna be married, baby? You know how they do.
Yeah.
And they get, they get on you, you know and you know to an extent, the world is kind of met for partnerships. I mean, you go to a restaurant, you stand out if you're at a table by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're sitting like at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
you know and so it can make the pressure, hard for somebody.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. Well, we get to number 10, y'all. This is the last one. You are convinced that everything will be okay when you find a new partner.
That kind of
That,
aligns with 9 too.
yeah, yeah. It's the same thing. Hey, life will be good as soon as I find that replacement. Because notice they said new. So that
Right.
means, yeah. So,
And that's a way also where you can make that mistake of doing the rebound,
mm-hmm,
you know, just to be just to be in a relationship, and it could be horrible,
mm-hmm.
but just to be able to say, yeah, I have a boo, you know,
I get that. Yeah, no,
and it's not worth it.
it's not worth it. So, folks, that was it. That was that list. Tell us what you think of this list. And some of y'all have. So tell us. And we're going to move on to the next topic. And it's a good one, but it's an interesting one to say the least. Well, wait, let's read what Tiffany says, society tells us we have to have someone and put timetables on us as singles. But we have to remember no one can love you better than you. You have to be okay with being by yourself. Yes, it's dangerous to become emotionally dependent on a person. Mm. And Tiara Sassity, I like that name too. You should put dating on hold when you can't decide if you want to cook and clean and share space with someone else. Mm. I
And you know
think
what
so.
happens too with the dating thing? Sometimes too, the older you get, things look different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so when you're in your 20s and 30s and maybe even your 40s,
Yeah.
dating looks very different, and maybe the desire to want to be with someone
Mm-hmm.
increases with age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so by the time you get 45, 50, 55 and up, you know, you're looking at your life like, wow, I really want to have somebody to spend, you know, the last half of my life with. And it looks different sometimes than, you know, I never had these same thoughts when I was 20. Cause I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I got plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but now I'm what, 53?
I thought you were younger than that, but okay. But yeah, okay.
You did not.
I did, but okay. Uh so well, folks. Oh, and then we'll put what D. Giles says. Until you have yourself together, you can't allow the pressures of others to determine your journey as a single. That's a good place to stop that. That's good right there. I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we move on to our next one. Here it go, folks. Let me see. Let's see how I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm talking. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about. I think I am about to do this though.
Go with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in. I'm about to show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all a picture of something. Okay, I'm gonna show it to y'all right now. Okay, y'all see that right there? Now that's a dog, right? And it's a certain breed of dog. Okay, it's a certain breed of dog. I'm gonna tell you what type of dog it is. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all later. But that's a pretty dog right there. Nice hunting dog, too. Just look at that pup for a while. And then let's just do this. Okay. You saw it, Andrea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I hope the studio audience saw it as well. So our next topic, our next topic. Wait, know what? Let me show this right here. I got to show you this. She said it's a pony. Tiffany says it's a pony. And you know what?
Tiffany's funny.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Colorism and dating. Colorism and dating. And I'm talking about usins, okay, as African Americans and maybe blacks in particular. Okay. Yeah, they just cracking up in the comment section. You see it too. Okay. Colorism and dating. As you know what colorism is, and I'll just give y'all the definition of colorism. Colorism is basically, I guess, a lack of a better term, discrimination within the black community based on skin
Color.
tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on skin tone. And we
Mm-hmm.
come in we come in all shades and colors and all shades of brown and beige and whatever. The brown colors. So with that, wait a minute. Josette said, check this out. Wait, don't laugh at these folks. She said brown paper bag. Josette said that dog was chocolate. Yes, it was. Or blue black. Okay, she know what we getting at with this.
Yep.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Let's get with this colorism and dating. Now, for, oh goodness. Okay, for the most part, I think a lot of us could have been married a lot sooner than what we realize. Okay, now we have a right to choose what we like. You may want somebody that's curvaceous. You may want somebody athletic build. You may want a big teddy bear. You may want a petite woman. And that's fine though. But, as a fair skinned man myself, I do not get a lot of love. You know, I have been told that, oh, you you too bright skinned for me. Y'all bright skinned folks sneaky uh, or something crazy like that. And I had one woman told me, well, light skin in. And that's the only reason she wanted to date me. And then there's some on the total opposite. People discriminate against darker skinned people. And that's not good right there. And my question to y'all, and we got a lot of comments coming. My my question to y'all is, um, have y'all been discriminated against because of your skin tone in the dating scene? Have you discriminated against someone because of their skin tone? Let us know in the comment section. I like them butterscotch all the way to licorice. I
I'm with
like them.
Tiffany.
I like them fluffy and a little thin too. Okay.
I can honestly say that I have never skin tone has never been like a criteria for me. I
Mm-hmm.
never was like I need somebody this shade
Uh-huh.
and that shade. And I think I told you this, Mike. You know, being now in the South
Mm-hmm.
is very different than being up north. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up in Massachusetts. You were black, period. It wasn't until I mean, I was easy into my 30s when I got down south and realized that there was, red bones and there was high yellows and there was all of this stuff that I had never heard before. And it wasn't until somebody said it to me, you are pretty this a pretty red bone. I was like, first of all, what does that mean? Because I didn't know what that meant. And so regions, different regions have different how they look at things differently too. Because I had
Mm-hmm.
never known the difference. You were black, you were white, period. When I was growing up north.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it go. And and I think society plays a big part in that. And I think only recently, I definitely remember back in the 90s, in the 80s, when I was in high school and in the 90s, that they would always push beauty, but it always would be someone caramel colored or light skinned.
Right.
You know, they would just ignore the chocolate sisters, you know. And that's society. I
There was a
mean,
time about that for men too. Like I kind of remember like a time frame when, the light skinned brothers with the light eyes.
oh
That
goodness.
was fashionable.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and then it
Exactly.
switched over, when Morris came on the scene and Denzel, you know, it kind of changed up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
But I also remember, and this is not necessarily have to do with dating, but I remember, now I do distinctly remember that in New York with the Rockettes, you couldn't be a Rockette if you were dark skinned
Mm.
because they wanted continuity. And so you had to be light in order to dance with them. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. Mm, mm, mm. And Margaret says, remember the good hair, bad talk in our culture.
Yes.
I love this quote by Judge Lauren Lake from our paternity court. She said, if you have hair on your head, then that's good hair. Okay, that's what she said. So, because she used to hate that.
Mm.
Oh, they got good hair. No, if you have hair on your head, then that's good hair. So yeah, I remember that.
And
That
are we the
then
only ones who say that? Like, I don't. I mean, we other cultures might say that, but I personally have never heard it. It seems like
I
that's
never
something
heard it. I
that
never
we,
heard it.
you know,
We always say that. Oh, he got that good hair.
yeah, get that good hair. Yeah,
Yeah, what the heck is good hair? I mean,
yeah.
give me some of that good hair. But anyway, Tiffany says, man, those light eyes be breaking hearts and taking names. They are dangerous, boy, because they literally attract all kinds of folk. Mm,
And
mm.
don't let them put a singing voice with it. Sorry.
But what if your wig nappy? Is it really good hair? It's hair. You know what? It's hair. I'm gonna wrap this up. But listen, I need a show of hands from the folks. How many of y'all have been referred to as a chocolate drop? Now I still use that term though as a term of endearment, but is it offensive though? A chocolate drop. Just show us some hands. And I used to say I only wanted dark skinned men, but now I'm mature and I'm not so superficial. Okay. And growing up in South Texas in the 90s, I was considered undesirable in high school due to my skin color. Most guys in schools wanted a Hispanic, biracial, or lighter skinned female. Part of it had due to the culture, example, gangster rap that we were exposed to at this time, during that time, rather. And you know what? They look out for that exotic look, you know. And I love all women, but I definitely love my sisters, though. But back to the question, though. And how many of y'all out there have ever been referred to as a red bone? Now, you said that, but how many of y'all consider yourselves red bones?
I've been called that. I don't think I fall into that category, but I've been called that.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear you. And Marcus said, I have not dated anyone outside of my race. However, dating outside of that spectrum should never be judged or condemned. I agree that we all come in all shades of colors, but my heart cannot judge without receipts. Okay. Yes. Okay. I have been referred to as red bone with light eyes. Okay. Okay. I have been called that, and it's offensive and ignorant. Okay. Okay. Well, when it comes to the term red bone, you know, and I've been guilty of using that term until I found out what a red bone is. And again, I gotta do it again now. Um, wait a minute. And that right there is a red bone. That pooch right there is a red bone. Yeah, that's something, ain't it, though?
So then the
I,
question becomes, where did the term come from? Like, is that a
yeah.
term that we put on ourselves, or is that a term that came from another race
Mm.
on us? Because they're good for calling us different species of animal.
Yeah.
So that would be the question.
Yeah. That's a real good question. I wouldn't be surprised if the slave masters did that.
You know,
I
and
wouldn't
I'm
be
sure if you look,
surprised.
some of the other color categories probably
Hmm.
came.
Hmm. So that's what that is right there. So it is something to think about though, right here. And D Giles on their seat. I've been called that. D Giles says, you read, Mike, and called that all my life, red bone. Now some call me red, don't like it. And Tiffany says the crazy thing is we as a people allow the media to market what beauty is, absolutely, versus instilling the concept of beauty ourselves into our race. Notice how marketing has changed recently, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course. And Joe said, I lived in California all my life at the age of 48, and being light skinned with light eyes, I've had trouble all my life with this issue. I've discriminated against other men that look like me if I just don't like it. The attitude behind this has caused self-esteem issues for me up until I was about 40. Okay. Anthony Daniels, yeah, okay. DJ. That wasn't funny, Tiffany. That wasn't funny. Okay, folks, on that note, we're out of time. And thank goodness. Thank goodness we're out of time. This couldn't end fast enough, though. So we finna get with these announcements. We would. Hey, Andre, you want to do the announcements?
Okay, sure.
She's good. She's good at it, y'all. So, okay, here we go.
We invite everyone to our after party. The link will be below. Just wait a few minutes. Mike tends to be a little bit late with the after party, but I hear that it still continues on. So look for the link. There will be some collations. Afterward, I hear that we are serving pig ears and tails with barbecue sauce and some potato salad with the skin on. Saturday night is our Saturday night social. From what I've understand, what happens at the social stays at the social. So you guys come out, enjoy some conversation, some fun, some laughter, and see where it leads you to. And next week we'll be back with Tuesday Talk with some more invigorating conversation. I'm sure Mike has a good lineup for you guys. So come back and join us, and let's have some fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrea. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Stacy Burton said this. Yeah. School days. That's good reference right there. But thank you, Andrea. You got to come back. You got to come back. And thank you all for sticking with us tonight. Yes. Tiffany says, great job, Andrea. Thank you. Yes. And please remember thank you for reminding me. Thank you. So, and I think that is it. Anything else, Andrea?
I think that's it. Y'all okay. don't come up with reasons though not to be in a relationship. We need to be thinking about reasons to be.
I hear you.
In a relationship.
Okay. So, if nothing else, thank y'all so much. We see you at the after party. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.
Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. You know, a lot of my brothers are dead or gone, but they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you, 'cause you're doing fine. At the end of the day, don't forget about me. As days turn to weeks, and weeks turn to years, oh, I feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. The street life used to be on, straight up hustling till the break of dawn. Taught me how to do wrong right, everything inside. But somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game. You couldn't see what I saw. The empire was starting to fall, and everything that I said